Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. This is one of our best, I think, one of our most talented and also passionate about sports. Umuntu that grew up phambi kwethu but washintsha in such a way ukuthi mawukhulele eKasi abantu abaningi bebecabanga ukuthi but why but ukhulele la eThekwini and engikuthanda ngayo wenza imisebenzi ewu2 but uzositshela ukuthi kanjani. Joining us tonight la kwiGagasi FM uZinhle Ndawonde. Sawubona Ndawonde.
Hello Buti Simtho.
Kunjani?
Ngiyaphila njani? Bikele namagagasi nama listeners akwiGagasi.
I think the last time we spoke kwakuyisikhathi unominate for awards, right?
Yes.
Ngaleso sikhathi.
Yeah.
So khuluma nga.
Sirasha ngithi nje iqeqeqe.
Exactly.
So manje uthe angimhlalise phansi lo sisi.
Ngifuna futhi sikhiphe nalezi zinto abantu abangazazi.
Hey ngaze ngazi.
But ukhulele la eThekwini.
Yeah.
La enanda. Uyingane yaselokishini.
Ngihlala nabafana. I used to do all the things that the guys did. Job Sushila grew up in Nanda. I lived with Uma. Obviously because my dad was also in the same area, bengikwazi ukuthi ngiye kababa and then go back home kama. I had a lot of a lot of brothers, cousins, I would say. So I used to play a lot with them. I did almost everything that they did. I played soccer, ngidlala ama Pokemon, bazofike ekhaya bezongifuna because ama Pokemons aba ngangisengiwaqedile. So befike bezongikhipha endlini. And obviously being a girl, kokathe she's busy, washes each other's yonke into.
Yeah.
So growing up obviously on the streets playing soccer with the guys, Ebola was on my head. I was thinking, okay, when I get to high school, let me play soccer because it's something I'm used to. In the sidlala elokishini, so figure definitely I will make myself out of something inside.
Yeah.
Only to find because when I got to Park Hill Secondary, they didn't have soccer.
Yeah.
They had hockey, they had volleyball, netball. Ngati, oh no, nah, this is not for me. This is not me. Gitinga, yabo ite challenge.
But when uqala lokho, as you mentioned, playing soccer, being involved kuma Pokemon basically namajit, they were not worried ekhaya ukuthi vele ngathi focus yakhe kwi soccer and rugby.
No, not really. Abafana basekhaya, like my cousins, there's one engangihlezi nje isilwa naye ngishaya because I remember when I was home just now. Yathi, "Hey, uZinhle kusamele sisixoxe indaba sokuthi wayishaya abancane." Yabo. Angishayani ke kodwa, don't want people to get that. No.
Yeah.
Ngisoft njengoba ungibona ngiyangibona nani ngithi soft as they come. So they were not really worried, but for my mom, she went through a lot because ngangibuya late, angishaye, yabo. Uyahamba nabafana, you're coming home late, isikhathi sokubuya sentombazane and all of that. They were like, "Hey, what's going on with you? Wenze njani? Ugephi kanti yabo?" But once I got to high school, ngadlala i-rugby. At first, but they didn't really like the fact that ngidlala rap, especially my dad, because after sengidlale no might and my dad then moved to Avoca Hills. So I stayed with him because he was in a better space, Besebenza as a teacher, and he could take care of me and my little sister, but my mother couldn't because Besebenza is a domestic worker. So they made an agreement, no, you take the kids, because we advantage your rights. So my dad, I used to come home, I remember, ngifike late from school after training, and then I had to cook for my dad and my sister. And my dad didn't really approve of that because now I'm a girl, I'm coming home late, and there's amachos that I need to do. So he didn't like it at first, up until Coach Wami had to personally go to him and say, please, I need this girl. She has a lot of talent. I mean, I see something good in her. Can you please even allow? We had 2 practice sessions in a week. At least allow just 1 session, and then I'll make sure she leaves early if she has to. So yeah, I played from high school. Ngadlala. I remember I played SA Games under 16. From there, before ngizengidlala under 16 nje, just getting in that rugby field, being taught how to tackle, catching the ball. Ngathi yabona ke manje siyakhuluma ke manje coach. This is what I'm talking about, because immediately being on the field, I felt this is where I belong. Yabo, loco, not necessarily kuba rough, but to be at a place where you feel this, I'm free, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. So 2006 SA Games, got selected for SA Games. 2008 I made the Sharks debut, and then same year I got selected for the first ever Springbok Women Under 20 that they introduced. And we played a lot of tournaments with the sevens. With the Sharks, where we went to sevens tournament, and that's where the coaches started seeing me and started seeing talent. But at that time, I remember I went to a lot of Springbok camps because they were going to World Cup 2014. So I got invited in a lot of their camps, but I just couldn't make the team. You know, I went there like several times, and I remember I had one of the girls, Ose Kulile Manj, and she would say, "Well, you'll never make it with this attitude, yabo." And I was like, "Oh, but what am I doing wrong? I'm trying so hard to be part of the team, you know." But then that's when I sat down, okay, where do I want to see myself in life? Is this what I want to do for a living? Is this what I'm comfortable with? Is this into for the rest of my life, you know? I then went back and I realized that, yes, this is what I want to do. But for me to be successful with rugby and be a professional player and be at a higher level, there's things that I need to change. As much as I was training and doing all of that, but there's things that just don't go along with an athlete that you need to abide to, that you need to look at and try avoid at times. So not that I was doing bad things at that time, but I was at first I didn't worry about what I was eating. I could just eat my fries and everything anyway. I didn't train so much. I could only arrive at a training session and just do practice. But then after that, I'm done. No extra sessions for myself to say, okay, maybe I pass left. Let me just try and work of that, you know. But there was never that. I was just playing rugby. And then I sat down, I said, okay, I need to change my life. I need to work hard and decide what is it that I want to do. So that's when I started eliminating a few things, like friends that I hanged up with. Obviously, abangani ohlala nabo abanye don't have a vision when I don't know. So I would, at a time where some of my friends would go elsewhere, and then I'll say, no, listen, I have a training session, or I have to go and do my passing. Then gear the other direction. At home, Uma was in Titi say, hey, Zinhle speak Arabic no put la nan gets I'm sorry putting English. At least it's much healthier because obviously you had to look after Iwetako and everything.
Still on that, Zinhle, you mention a lot of Uma. Udlala indima engakanani into your life, Uma?
That woman is my strength. She is my power. Uyimbokodo kumina, yabo. As I say, sikhule naye as much as ubaba besihlala naye, but she was doing a lot of things because there was a time where we had to move siyohlala naye. And I remember we grew up in Ndawonde. I didn't just stay in one place. I stayed in Africa. I stayed in Mchebeni because she was working as a domestic worker, and she was staying in one room where you have istofula, you have everything, yonke into la, you know, and she would leave us for the whole week, me and my little sister ahambe, trusting us ukuthi okay sizoba right. Obviously we asked kwenzakala nelokishini, so wayithanda ukuthi nje I hope when I come back my kids are okay, because you can imagine living ingani zamantombazane in such environment the whole week ungazi ukuthi zenzani, yabona. So she did a whole lot of things, and looking at her esikhulisa, because I love my dad. I don't want to say my issues wabo, but Uma played indima enkulu. As much as besingahlala naye times, but she was doing a whole lot of things for us. So ngambuka, we even knew i-payslip yakhe, to imagine. We even knew i-payslip yakhe siyibuka asikhomisa ukuthi ngihole lokhu nalokhu. Ngambuka ekhula with nothing but trying so hard ukuthi enze sure ukuthi ngiyayikhulisa lezi ngane, it doesn't matter what. Looking nakho ngizokwenza sure ukuthi ngiyabanikeza uthando, ngiyabanikeza, I give them love when they need love, ngiyabanikeza lokho okuncane, whatever that I can afford. I'm going to make sure I give this to my kids. And she gave this to us, and that's where I pulled this strength from her to say any other mother would have given up on these kids, you know. But you know, she said, no, I won't fail them. I will, whatever that I have, it doesn't matter what's in nani, but I will make sure I give them this love. And from me seeing her, engagive up kuthina enza zonke lezi zinto transferred that strength kumina ukuthi in life on the things that I want to do, where I want to be, there's no way giving up is not going to be an option, because she has fought for me to be where I am, you know.
Would you say that was the reason why you pushed so hard and wangena kwirapi so at the early age, so that you could help now ehlambe ekhaya?
Yes, that was one of the reasons. Other reasons were I didn't want to get involved in the things that were happening around me,
the place,
you know.
Yeah.
Kusikhathi sami ngikhula, there were a lot of girls ababe kulelwa. Some of them were taking drugs.
Ababe groove. Isho ababe groove.
Yeah, babe groove ne mase beyavela ku groove.
Exactly. Yeah.
So babe kulelwa, getting bedla ama drugs and all of that, and I said to myself, I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be in that situation. So yini engayenza ukuthi ingikeep busy for me not to be in that situation. That's where ke ngabona ukuthi okay, rugby you hardly have time for anything, because uyahamba esikoleni ubuye, you have a training throughout the week. So phuma esikoleni hamba ujim ubuyele endlini. Ke weekends you have games. That was the nice part ukuthi unama games, and that's one thing I like about rugby, ukuthi you actually flew rugby actually for the first time engakwazi ukufly ngayo. So you flew, you got kids, and we were excited because we were kids at that time. So we excited ukuthi siyafly. I've never been in a flight before. So excited to tell kids we don't have to pay anything for that. Because I know kwamanye ama sporting coach you actually get they ask you to pay for our traveling fees and all of that. But with rugby you never got all of that. So I said, no man, for me to get out of this situation, I need to stick to rugby, you know, so I can be a better person and give umuntu nami as time goes.
As you mentioned, you faced a lot of challenges, as you mentioned, ekhaya nakhona, but as you mentioned, you then being introduced to rugby, where most of abantu elokishini the time uqala wena amantombazane kwirugby bayingabaningi. Imaphi ama challenges that you come across mesu usufika ke khona kule sports, especially esaziwa njengesamadoda?
Eyokuqala nje ukuthi kuthiwa hey abafana udlala rugby. Yasi swaze wafit, ngithi mina hawu ngiyabonga, uyajima, ngithi mina ngidlala rugby. Udlala rugby angekuzongiqubula phela. Hayi abaleka manje angisana shutha ngeke ngisaba nayo mina uMr Right. Mama ngazongibalekela abafana.
Ngoba.
But yeah, there's quite a lot. You play rugby, so do you want to be a man? Are you dating girls? And all of that. But that's, I mean, it's like soccer. I know a lot of soccer girls get a lot of that. Once you play sports as male dominant, you then change.
Either you're dating girls.
Yes, it's either you're dating girls or sufuna kuba mfana. But it's not that. It's mina. I was at a state where I was like, no, mina, I'll only listen to izinto engifuna ukuyilalela, because people will say a lot of things about you. But kuba wena as a person ukuthi yini oyithathayo yini oyikhiphayo. Some will say good things, some will say bad things. So now we're growing up to know ukuthi okay, this person is motivating me, and this person is saying something else. So I never really took anything that they did. Those things actually motivated me, because I knew ukuthi okay, so mina njengoba ngidlala rugby, that means sengiyindoda manje. Yabona, it's like umsebenzi lo engiwenzayo, i-firefighter wena. So now wenza njani unamandla lapha noma nyateketisa lapha umsebenzi.
Yes, still on that, because we are both from rugby then shift to firefighter. Obviously kunalawo ma perception uthi phela lo muntu lo
uyambona shuthi
shuthi hayi lo muntu lo ngeke. But nakhona, why then you chose that path, even usudlala, but you decided to move to the direction of firefight?
With the firefighting, to be honest, it was never about something that I sat down and said, no, I'm going to go by firefighter. Growing up, I'm going to go by firefighter. You know, I did a sport management at Durban University, ngenza diploma, and then I did my BTech. Yeah, so whilst I was doing BTech, I was doing I was working at Virgin Active as a fitness instructor, part-time though. So ngangisebenza ngama weekends ngibamba lapha la. Nakhona lapho kusawufuna imali, yabona, because umsebenzi awukho. especially when it comes to imisebenzi sport. You know, siyahlupheka kakhulu with that. So what I did was I then went to Virgin Active and then ngasebenza khona. So whilst I was working at Virgin Active, I said to myself, okay, ngiqedile manje ukusebenza. Virgin Active nakhona nayo is not giving me enough money to actually sustain umndeni wami. So I need a proper job, you know, because bengisebenza part-time on my weekends kuphela. So I saw a firefighter post, ngase ngathi no, let me apply. Be firefighter ngibone ukuthi what happens. So I went there, nga-apply, and they called me for ama physicals. Engangishiya indoda imihle, angidlali ke.
Akusho wena, hey awusina ama video yakho la yo.
Ngafika nje lapha. Ngenza phatha ama physical test wonke, ngashiya istage sase King Shaka City khona ingane ezayo. Khona ingane ezayo. So okay ngaphasa, I went to training yakhona ya 6 months. Ngangenzela eThekwini Fire. That training was a killer because that, you know, with the airports, there's not much that's happening there. But training, it actually shows you and it puts you with pressure. You feel okay, this is what happens, you know. So leo training yangifundisa nje into eziningi. Ufakwa yazi ufakwa endlini ikhiyelwe indlu kuthiwa awuphume wesisi ishiswe. And I said to myself, yo, I kushubile la. But then having been called, kwama calls are few, you know. Ngafunda what it is being a firefighter, you know, and all of that. And I realized, okay, this is actually something that I like doing as well, you know. Ngiyathanda ukusiza abantu. Even at work, I'm that person oyikhulumelayo. Ngiyathanda nje ukuyihlekela and you know, ngibe kwimude hip. I don't like being around abantu abathuli njengawe. Abanganayo vibe.
Yamuzwa.
Just being kwama trainings abo, attending some of the few calls where you find ukuthi umuntu stuckile emotweni and that person is relying on you. So you there uzomsiza. You have to calm that person down. You have to tell the umuntu ukuthi listen, everything's going to be okay. Yabo umsiza. And the feeling that you have after having to save that person's life. You know, and I said to myself, no, this is me. I like being around people. I like saving people. I love making sure ukuthi nomunye umuntu wami useduze kwami uright in any way. So I fell in love with firefighting kanjalo and I said, no.
Ngangena la.
Yabona ke la, this is my home. This is where I want to be.
Because I think nakhona bekuyindlela yokukusiza in terms of getting fitness mase uyodlala nakhona.
Exactly. At first I went there because I needed money. But ngafika lapha ngase ngayithanda leyo. And I always say to myself, everything that happens kulafi yami ijourney yami yonke. Actually, uNkulunkulu has led me and pushed me to the places where he feels he wants me to be, because I didn't have any problems, or there's a lot of people abaninkinga befuna umsebenzi, but ngathi ngi-apply the first time ngi-apply firefighting yabo ngawuthola. And yonke into mengiyibuka when I sit down and think, where would I be with my life now, yabo, looking ukuthi ngiphuma aphi. Ngiyasho ukuthi no, actually it wasn't just me ngedwa, but I was directed, yabo, by uNkulunkulu to say, when I go there alright lapha ya. Njengoba ngisho ukuthi shuthi wayefuna ngiyosiza.
Shuthi vele kahle
ubizele
kulento. Ubizele kulento, but nakhona when abanye abantu bayahluleka Zinhle. How do you cope wena nalezi zinto zombili? Because zidinga strength sakho zombili. So how do you cope nale msebenzi edimanda kangaka yombili at the same time?
The nice thing about Irapi and my job is that they both have the same sentiment. Irapi kufanele ube fit physically and mentally. Kwi-firefighter nakhona kumele ube fit physically and mentally. Irapi, you need a team. Niyadingana ukuze niwina. I cannot work alone.
True.
Same as with firefighting, awukwazi ungena emlilweni wethu. You always have to go in twos, so that should anything happen to partner yakho, iyakwazi ukuthi ibuye izokusiza. So njengoba ngisho ukuthi sibusiso, at work I have enough time to actually gym, study, and do isn't necessary. So a campaign, they give us programs where you have to do, they say do this on Monday, do this on Friday, do this up until the weekend. So I'm able to follow the program which means I'm getting fit for Lokuzani rap. attending my calls, I'm running, as you said, ukuthi uyabona ama videos I'm on social media. I do that to make sure ukuthi I'm fit for both rugby when mese sengibuye campaign, as well as mese ngakwazi attend my calls. So for me it's imsebenzi yaNkulunkulu.
As you mentioned, you grew up in that environment. On an opportunity to khamba uye kubaba uye kuma. You got an opportunity ukuthi usebenze as a firefighter and also play rugby. You mentioned ukuthi uhambe indawo eningi through rugby. I think you started Mago 2013 to participate kuma Springboks and Springbok 7 qaleni nokudlala khona ke manje 2013. Yeah, around about that time.
Yeah.
Was it easy for you to penetrate kuma Springboks just after uqalile kwi rugby? We uqalile go Sharks and play nakhona, because I've seen ithombe zakho from there. Was it easy transition kuwena ukuthi okay la ngisathuke khona ukuthi ngidlala kwi Sharks and then sengiyabizwa manje being a national asset kuma Springboks?
No, it wasn't. Because it's a total different environment. It's a total different system. Yabo ayifani I system yakwi provincial then I system yakwi international. That's sengiqala ukudlala ku international level. That's when I actually got to see ukuthi kunjani kube a professional athlete. You know, the nice thing about going there kwama sevens and training with them is that everything oyifunayo, because usually sihlala SS Academy, Stellenbosch Academy, you've got everything oyifunayo. You've got a gym, you've got amafiso, you've got udokotela, you've got abantu abangimasajayo when you feel good. And I said to myself, okay, this is nice, you know, because the problem esiba nayo mesisala ezansi kwama provincial thina as players, we don't have that, you know. Uyalimala only to find ukuthi kumele uhambe manje uyo recover soon, but awunayo medical aid, usamncane uma kuyi domestic worker for example. Where do you go? Nobody looks after you, you know. But once you reach a level, then you are born with, oh wow, so this is how it feels, this is how it is to be a professional athlete. Even the work rate that you do, it's totally different.
It's
yes, from what they do kwama provincial levels. I don't want to lie, I had issues having to adapt, especially with the sevens girls, because sevens is no child's play.
Yep.
It's not child's play.
Yep.
I'm not one of the fastest runners, but I had to catch up, you know.
But you were doing very well. You're doing very well.
Yes, I had to do something about it, you know. But kwahamba isikhathi awungajwayela and got used to the whole system, got used to the whole environment. And then ngabona ukuthi, oh okay, this is actually, it's actually cool. Now everything becomes much easier when you've gotten used to that system. So ngajwayela kanjalo, and from there I made sure ukuthi I'm not going down. Everything I do, it has to be up. I have to up my game. I have to be up the notch to make sure I'm on that top of the game.
You moving away from home, obviously a new environment. Did you cry when they tell you, Guti, now from being a player, we've seen something in you that you can lead these ladies. Now I'm bend, you can help captain, you can be a vice captain. Now you at this stage. Have you ever thought one day from Intomazania Senanda could be captain, vice captain Guma Springboks?
Vice captain Guma Springbok 15s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Springbok 15s and I7s. Yes, it was a bit of a shocker, but I cried tears of joy. Obviously, for them to appoint me as a vice captain, it means they saw something in me. They see leadership. They've seen how I've worked hard to be where I am. They've seen how I can inspire and motivate other girls to be like me, or Babalalacha, or Siakolis, or whoever. So for them to give me that band to say, Zinhle, we trust you with this team. We trust that you can lead this team. We trust that you can inspire the young girls to not give up on their dreams, to say, no man, uZinhle kade ekhula manje simbona la inande ehambe egijima ekhaya, but look at her now, how did she do it, you know? I was very happy, to be honest, and I was very honored, obviously, because being a captain sometimes can be difficult, because there's a lot that comes with that. But I enjoyed it, and I make sure ukuthi menginikwe leso sikhundla ngiyasiphatha ngendlela esifanele.
But khona ngathi khona into ebalekelayo ungafuni ukuyisho. We obviously face ama challenges nakhona masidlala.
Yeah.
Noma sikuleyo mara afike lawo ama challenges where you thought ukuthi ish.
No, it's not really ama challenges akwenza. It's just challenges lawa othi ama players have issues, so you have to take the issues to your coach. Okay, you take the issues, hlampe go coach, and then you come back. Hlampe, it's not what ama results angabi lawo ama players ayifuna. So you have to try and make ama players understand what this is how it is, and this is how we need to work out of it. Yabo. Obviously, they're not going to be happy, but remember, ukuthi lama players atrasta wena every time. Ukuthi me hambisa message when we hambisa, me buya fanele gibuye in a positive result. So when you come back at times and awubuni into abade beyicelile, and it then becomes like, you know, so why ngimele manje sikutshele ngoba manje asizakali yabo. But they understand, come isikhathi be understanding, because with, for example, with sport lesidlala, it's male dominant, so there's a lot of things syndrome esinayo South Africa ukuthi we have issues as women, ukuthi ngidlalela Springbok, take Ubabala for example, is Springbok captain, let's say, and then Usia Kolit is also a captain, but we don't have Zinhle ifanayo. We are not treated the same thing. We ask earning ngendlela esifanayo. Publicity is not the same, you know, and that's where we as women are set down to be understood. Okay, no, because you are women, of which we always fight the same thing. We would say no, but we understand you udlala ama Springboks, but then now umuntu esifazane. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's always been an issue leyo yokuthi on the female side, even ibanyana ayibaholi le mali that the national team eyamajita ayayihola. Lapho in that issue, because the issue ebalekile. Obviously, no government at that time were at all. Did that affected you guys emotionally? Hey, yes, we're putting so much effort, but as appreciate wangalendlela, but senze umsebenzi oyodwa lab.
You know what's the nicest thing I always say about Ms. Fazan? Guti, ba understand, uyazi now na girlfriend. Uthi mesusugangile uyoyigoqa uthi nje kodwa kusala uzo understand.
Uyazela happy. Ngiyadlala yakhe.
Uyoyigoqa uthi izo understand. So growing up, I understand uncle, it's okay. Eventually, it's right. But comes a time where we can't be understanding the same thing, because the more we understand, the more you guys will say, no, they understand. The more we speak about these things, we're shouting so much that whenever we speak, ansasi, because we're always talking about one and the same thing, you know. So it's a big issue, but I must say, with USARU, there has been a lot of improvement looking at where we are from 2014, because what they did was they created a training center where each and every province had under 16, under 18, under 20, so that by the time they get to national level, we don't have to teach those girls basics and all of that. So you can see, even at camp, when those ladies come to camp, you can see no. Bafundisiwe yabona nje basuka kwi route impela. But indaba yohola, I still always say it can't be ukuthi, because that's why sigcine ngizothatha mina for example sengisebenza. The reason why ngisebenza and still play professional sport is because angikwazi ukuthi when I'm not at camp, I'm not getting anything. Like for now, if ngeke campaign, I'm not getting anything. So once ngihleli kulo 6 months wade kune lockdown the whole year last year.
It's been a year.
If angisebenzi, what does that mean ukuthi mina ngenzani as a person? You know, that's why I said, okay, I need a job, because I need to sustain umndeni wami. I need to sustain myself, you know. And it's something that needs to be worked on in South Africa. Yabo. If it's professional, it's professional. If Usia Kolis is captain and is playing on a high level, and Cindy Boy are captains and they're playing on the same level, they must also be treated the same way. If because if Ori tried no
Yeah.
Kolis nam
Yeah,
Ori tried.
yeah, so
Exactly what's the difference? Why must we as women be treated differently? Why must we be judged by gender? Why don't you judge us by our capabilities? At least you understand. So it's a really, really big issue that needs to be sorted out. But what I can say is that we'll keep on fighting because there's a next generation that's coming up.
Yeah.
You know, Nati OCZ, when the Kumale fought so much for us. The previous Springbok women have done so much. They've actually planted a really solid base. So now it's up to us also to actually voice out ourselves, say, no, listen, we need help. We need corporates to come in. We need government to come in and say, listen, we need to help the ladies. These are our professional athletes. If you are a professional, I would love to just play rugby, you know, give rugby. Because it's something that I love, it's something that I want to do. So I don't want to okay, well, man, if I fight clapping something.
So as you mentioned, Uguti, apart from Uguti, you guys can't support your family while ningeke campaign. Worst thing that happened obviously you guys were looking forward to some Mama tournament that were planned. And nakhona manye futhi namanja samisiwe. Did that affected you guys in a huge way ekutheni le lockdown le ivele yashintsha into eningi even nama plans eni kade senwaplanile as niyodlala?
Yeah, it did quite a lot. But on the other hand as well, management did to actually helped us kakhulu. I won't lie. Because like you say, we used to playing a ground in. So it's very difficult to Uchime at home because you want to run. You're used to getting on the
contact
field,
sports,
running
obviously.
around, you know, and all of that. So it was very, very difficult for the whole team, in fact, because now this affects you mentally as well because you're thinking, am I going to be fit enough to make the final squad for the World Cup? Time is running, but you can't, even if Ujima, you feel good, no Anjimanga enough because you haven't run those shuttles, you haven't tackled someone, you haven't played games. Say, doing like fitness, like game fitness. So for me personally, I won't lie, it didn't affect me that much because I was, as a frontline worker, being M17, and there's much space for me to work around where being 70 summer hosts. They did close the gym because obviously it was not ideal since COVID for everyone to go inside the gym. But I made sure with spaces corner anything that is around me I use. I'm tire that I was pulling, I'm stairs that were there at work. I made sure but they made sure in management on their side they give us a program.
Yeah.
We also have this thing called Ikitman, which is your daily check where you wake up in the morning and they ask you, how are you feeling? Do you have soreness anyway? So that they can keep tabs on how their athletes are feeling.
Oh, ngifuna amanzi. Yeah.
So should you have a problem, they obviously call you and ask you, okay, what is the problem? How can we help? You know, they also gave us like vouchers for us to get food because they understood with a lot of players, so imali, they didn't get money from anywhere, so they gave us some vouchers. Okay, at least here's money, go buy food, because they expected us to be healthy, to eat healthy food. So they gave us imali ukuthi sihambe siyothenga ukudla ukuze sokwazi ukuthi sibe healthy. But all in all, as much as it's affected, but we are not discouraged by it because for us it just meant we had to work twice as hard because now ungajime ground, like I said, going king. Because even now, the whole year Askazi's gym, Askazi's Dladla last year.
Yeah.
Even now, we were getting ready for the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's postponed due to COVID. Now that's another problem. So this is where, as a player, in mind game, Yako needs to be strong. You need to fight mentally because izinto ekanjena can actually pull you away from a competition. They can actually discourage you. Good, oh, I've been doing this for so much. I've been waiting for a cup. Now we will cup Isaac. So why am I even training? You understand? Okay, I'm training so hard, but aglara and all of that. So local needs athletes ezoba fit, like mentally strong, because at least this year sizoba nama games, inter-provincial games. We had planned to have games, of which azoqhubeka. We have planned ukuthi sidlala ama international test, of which asazoqhubeka. So for us, ukukhanselisha World Cup means then ukuthi, well, we've been given another time, like another
chance,
amanye months to work on ourselves. So we're gonna by all means try and utilize these games that we play provincially. A test match, so I'm guessing we're gonna have more test match up until September, because September is gonna be our World Cup. So I'm guessing coach will come up obviously with a plan where we have to go maybe and play a test match with other teams.
I think you've done a lot for KZN1. You've done a lot for the community yangagini, most importantly your family. Bayakwazi ukukhomba ukuthi we are very proud of that girl ngoba uphakamisile igama labo, waphakamisa nendawo uphuma kuyona. And also nathi like Gagasi FM, it's always been since we are a young and KZN based radio station, just to make sure that we give support kubantu bethu like KZN, making sure that nani supports anything at all. So you've done a lot, and I don't think kuphela la kuningi achieve, as you mentioned, ama dreams akho to play abroad and contribute kuma disadvantaged communities ngapha in the north of KZN. But like Gagasi, we want to wish you all the best. Noma inini sekhaya la, whenever you need something support, especially uzoqala le initiative yakho, you're going to that area, we would love to be part of that, making sure that nathi siyakusupporta with this into KZN based. Noma yino idingayo i-support ikhona. You are part of a prosperity party Gagasi.
Listen, let me drink to that.
So whatever you need, nathi sokunika support. Thank you so much for joining us namhlanje.
Thank you so much for having me, put this into ngizofika njalo ke. I'll make sure that I feel at home. I definitely will make sure that I feel at home.
Ufike nge-weekend.
And I just want to say nje, especially, I always say this because I know there's a whole lot of young girls. I want to go on Instagram, I get a lot of messages from young Ingane, and it's Zinhle such an inspiration. Even though it's crazy videos that I put sometimes, even the guys would say, yes, Zinhle Sugulam was bad, but after watching your videos, I make sure I watch them, and then Sugulam Luba right. You know, I know there's a lot of young girls in disadvantaged areas, abafuna ukudlala rugby, but abathi beyibuke mhlambe bebuka ukuthi hey, I will never be like uZinhle because of the situation ekhaya and the circumstances. I was there. I was there one day. So i-message yami ngibona ukuthi they should never allow that determine future yabo or ama goals yabo or where they want to be. Always take lento le ekwenze ngazuthi you can never be something ukwenze extent niche. I was living job story sama to sister with my mom with a whole lot of issues, but I never said I could never be anyone because of a situation yam. But I took that situation ngayifaka emhlanje and ngayenza ukuthi ngistraighnishe to be where I am today, and I'm here because of uqina kwami nokwazi ukuthi ngifunani, and also obviously you have to work hard. Nothing ever comes easy. Ayivetani nje zibeke etafuleni, uyasebenza ujuluke then ke kuzokwazi ukufaka iwif.
Hey, uyajuluka kodwa. Hey, amavidiyo akho ayajuluka, uyasebenza kakhulu, but thank you so much once again. Isekhaya la ufike noma yini?
Awe mangizofika nge-weekend.
Yeah, khona into esivele kade sesiplanile washo ukuthi uyosebenza.
Ayi yazi kodwa ngicabanga uthi ngifonela iboss. Angisemsebenzini.
But thank you so much. We wishing you nothing but the best. But lastly,